Admiral. Health news this morning: a diet rich in fiber can actually help you live longer. New studies found a link between fiber consumption and the reduction risk of death. Not kidding, especially in men, but apparently this guy's doing well in terms of his health. The source of fiber appears to be crucial. Eating fiber whole grains was strongly linked to lowering the risk of dying from a heart attack or heart disease, while fiber from veggies and beans appeared to have a minimal impact. Now, the fiber in fruits seem to have no offering of any protection at all. Now, speaking of heart health and speaking of heart disease, it's something we certainly need to be aware of. And the younger you get started with it, certainly the better. But as we get into the older years, we certainly need to be more aware of it, taking care of our heart. So with more on that this morning is Dr. Alicia Barhay. She's in from Johns Hopkins this morning. And this is something you want to tackle it early in life so it doesn't become a problem later in life.
Right. Heart disease is really the number one killer for all of us, so it's important to think about this. But what's interesting about heart disease is what we normally think about as protecting your heart actually changes as you get older. So what we know is that stopping smoking, eating right, exercising, all those, and keeping your blood pressure under control, all that is very important to prevent heart attacks and strokes and kidney problems. But as you get older, now I'm talking about the people over 75, the people over 85, 90, sometimes you have to be a little more careful about all those things that you do to try to keep your heart under control. For example, if I could just say, as people get older, you need a little bit of a higher blood pressure to push blood up into the brain. So you don't want to keep your blood pressure too low when you're older.
Now, that's unique.
It is interesting as people get older, you want your blood pressure to be just slightly higher than it maybe was when you were younger, and your heart rate to be just slightly higher. Now, we're not talking crazy stuff like high blood pressures, 160s, 170s. We're not talking about that. We're talking about maybe just a little bit of a slight adjustment in your medication so that you have a little bit more blood going to your brain as you get older.
Now, we'll talk about something. You talk about high blood pressure itself. That's known as the silent killer. It's
Right.
something that people don't even know about. So as we start getting screened for this young at an earlier age, we start getting our heart checkups at an earlier age. Men 35, women no later than 50. What are some things we need to look for at an early age so it doesn't become a problem when we get into our 60s and 70s?
Right. So the most important things to think about are your family history. What's already going on in your family? Is there a history of heart disease when your family was around your age? That's an important thing to think about. And it's really the simple things. Again, like I was talking about, avoiding cigarette smoking. That's the number one thing you can do to try to prevent heart disease later, as well as maintaining your ideal weight. In terms of what to look for, besides looking in terms of your own family